Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a collective love reading, and I felt called to this deck today, and I just want to spend a moment talking about some of the energy that's coming through. So I do feel, what are you? We have player, playing games, Casanova. So you could have been connected to someone who is a player. But on the bottom of the deck, we have burned bridge, no coming back, trust is gone. So it feels like whoever you're dealing with possibly burned a bridge with you. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the tarot deck that I picked up. And it's the B tarot. And on the bottom, we have the 10 of Swords. And underneath that, we have the 9 of Swords in reverse. So it feels like you could be someone who's healing from a situation or a connection where there was some sort of messy ending. Perhaps, like I said, this person burned a bridge with you. Like I said, 9 of Swords in reverse shows healing and recovery after a painful ending. There could have been a betrayal here. 10 of Swords is, you can see this hive is on fire. Where is the 10th sword? Oh, it's right in there. Okay. So what I'm seeing in this deck is I almost couldn't see the 10th sword, but we have 6 swords stabbing this nest. And then the 10th sword is like shoved right in there. So this person really could have burned a bridge. Like, look at the fire. There could have been a very painful ending here. And we actually have 7 swords in this nest. So there could have been some sort of 7 of Swords behavior, some sort of deception, manipulation. This person could have, run away from this connection. And then we have 3 swords down here. So it does feel like this could be about a separation where this person hurt you and you needed time to heal and recover. And underneath that, we have the Queen of Cups. So you could be, I just heard you could be in your healing era, but you could be healing from this connection or this painful ending. And you could be protecting your energy right now because, as you can see, this Queen of Cups is covering her jar of honey there. And the Queen of Cups does talk about self-love. So yeah, that's kind of what's coming through right away. You could have seen potential with this person. So let's see what wants to come out. Could have been dealing with a runner. We have insincere apology. So it could have been that this person burned some sort of bridge with you. Maybe this is someone who has a hard time taking accountability. They could have given you an insincere apology and maybe you felt that it was insincere. You know what I mean when somebody's like, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Yeah, let's keep going. We have real love and negative energy. Interesting. So you could have had a real connection with this person. You could have genuinely loved this person. But they could have been, operating from a place of negative energy, especially with that 10 of Swords I was seeing with the 7 swords in the hive there. And we have delays, procrastination, timing issues, cultivating patience. So it does seem like there was a timing issue here. You could have been dealing with someone who, was procrastinating commitment. You could have also been, I'm kind of seeing the Tower, and when I talk about how when you're in that tower, the universe will send you like little red flags that something isn't stable. But because you love the person, because you feel a true connection with them, you kind of delay the inevitable. You delay the tower falling. So it could have been that you were delaying this ending or trying to, I'm hearing the word appease, which is not a word I ever use, trying to appease the situation, whatever that means. It's possible that, You've been hoping that this person will come back changed, and maybe there's been delays. Maybe you're dealing with someone who, wants to reach out but is procrastinating about it, or they were procrastinating about doing the inner work. Like you could have felt the negative energy and were procrastinating the ending. There's that, yeah, we have that negative energy card flipped out now. Past life connection, soul contract. So it feels like this is someone that, you could have felt an immediate bond with. Clearly you and this person have a soul contract, possibly to teach each other lessons, I'm hearing. So let's see what's happening here. This feels like a heavy one. We have happily single, not looking for love, focused on goals, trusting the journey, and distance, separation, needing space, avoiding, pushing away. All right. So you could have been dealing with someone who was kind of running away from this connection, running away from commitment. Maybe they weren't looking for anything serious. This could also be you right now. So you could be in separation. There could be delays with divine timing. And you could be, maybe you're not looking for love. Maybe you still have feelings for this person. Maybe you still believe that they can heal and come back, but clearly there's delays. And it says focused on goals. So right now you could be very focused on your goals, focused on your hobby, your career. You could be focused on fitness, whatever goals you have, rather than looking for love. You could be taking the time to heal, learn how to love yourself. It also says trusting the journey. So through this separation, you're trusting the journey. Career focused, career over love. So you could have been, so that could be you. The other thing I'm hearing is that you could have been dealing with someone who is more focused on their career than this connection. So this is an interesting one. So let's see what I need to know about this. What can you tell me about this? We have non-exclusive, lust, friends with benefits. So this could have been very interesting. This could have been someone who was, not wanting to commit to this connection, but they could have been engaging with you in sexual ways, non-committal, I'm hearing. And maybe they didn't want to be exclusive. I feel like there was definitely some sort of romantic or sexual connection here with that card. Let's keep going. Maybe that's, all they could offer you. We have Wheel of Karma, consequences, bad choices, karmic lessons. And you can see there's a lotus in the middle of this, like kind of fire energy. There's a volcano here. So it feels like this was going to erupt one way or another. It feels like whoever you're connected to did make some bad choices. You'll know what those choices were. And that right now they are dealing with the consequences of those bad choices, learning karmic lessons. I just realized I don't have one of my nails done. Oh well. We can't all be perfect. So let's keep going. We have self-centered, fragile ego, selfish intentions, easily angered. So clearly you were dealing with someone who was a little bit self-centered, self-focused, very fragile ego. And what that means is they could have cared about what other people thought. Easily angered, to me, easily triggered. So the fact that we had the soul contract and negative energy come out, you could have been in a soul contract with this person where you were meant to trigger their shadows, and you could have been dealing with someone who burned a bridge on their way out. And for some reason, I'm getting a very heavy energy in this reading. I don't want to say an icky energy, but it's kind of giving me the ick a little. I don't normally say that, but that's kind of what's coming through. And what I mean by that is you could have been dealing with someone who, once you kind of called them out on their behavior or their avoidance or their fear of commitment or the fact that they weren't committing to you. The fact that they were hurting you, because right now they're getting their karma. They're seeing the consequences of their actions. But with this card, this easily angered and the burned bridge, I almost feel like this person, like maybe when you tried to talk to them or you put up a boundary or you called them out on their behavior, they could have been quite angry. They could have been quite triggered, leading them to burn a bridge on their way out. And that's what someone with a fragile ego does. I almost said eagle. Eagles could be symbolic. Actually, the eagle talks about being thrown into the fire for the sake of their own transformation. And I keep hearing a burning bridge. So I just feel like this person burned a bridge on their way out. They could have been quite mean to you on the way out. It's a very heavy energy that I'm picking up on. And what I was going to say before I said eagle is someone with a fragile ego has a very hard time accepting their own shadows. And that Seven of Swords that I was seeing in the Ten of Swords card, the Seven of Swords can be someone who's running away from their own shadows or unwilling to see the things that they need to heal. So, if this person burned a bridge on their way out, you know what I'm about to say. They weren't running away from you. They were running away from themselves. They were running away from their shadows. And again, people with fragile egos can be very defensive, easily triggered. And that's the ego's response when a wound is being opened or recognized. That's the response of someone who hasn't learned how to be self-aware. Their ego tries to protect them. So let's keep going. We have player on the bottom. So you could have been dealing with like a Knight of Wands energy, very inconsistent, very hot and cold. They could have had other, like not wanting to be exclusive with you. Maybe they even had other people in their energy or were talking to others. That could have been feeding their fragile ego. Let's keep going. So we do have career focused. And we have round and round, no change, progress, wasting time, stuck in a pattern. So again, this person could have been more focused on their career than love. They could have gotten involved with someone in the workplace. This could also be you right now. I almost want to do this. So this round and round, this is being stuck in a cycle of repeat. And you know that saying? I don't actually know that saying, so why am I trying to say it? Is it insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? So you could have kept repeating a cycle with this person. Like maybe I'm thinking about that insincere apology. Maybe you were stuck in a cycle where, you tried to talk to this person or reason with them, or they hurt you in some way, and then you would get an insincere apology, or you would even get an apology that seemed heartfelt, but then their actions wouldn't change. The thing about patterns is they keep playing out as long as we keep giving energy to them. And even if you believe it's the other person that keeps repeating the pattern, by keeping yourself stuck in that pattern, by still engaging with the person that's repeating the pattern, you are also engaging in the pattern. And the only way to stop a pattern is to step back from it and disengage. The only way for a pattern to stop is a separation and distance. So it feels like, there wasn't any change happening within this connection. You just felt like you were going round and round in circles with this person, maybe having the same arguments. Like maybe you had periods of time that were good, but then the cycle would repeat. It's very frustrating. It almost feels like being on a merry-go-round. It's also something that happens with soul contracts until lessons are learned. So once the lesson is learned, the pattern stops. We just had a blood moon yesterday, so it could be that recently you stepped out of this pattern, and that blood moon will help you to release that pattern, which is good. So, like I said, I'm not sure who this is right now, if this is you or them. Either they were very focused on their career rather than this connection, or career over love, or this is you right now. Like maybe you took a step back from this, or the universe, divine intervention, caused a tower moment to separate the two of you, which, you know, if you weren't willing to climb down out of that tower, that's when divine intervention happens and the universe throws you out of that tower. And that can look like this person pushing you away, burning a bridge. Really, you're being protected. And it's so that they can go through their own karma. So you could have been in that situation or taken a step back to focus on yourself, to heal, and focus on your career. Like put your energy towards something that's not stuck in a pattern. On the bottom, we have longing, missing you, regrets, guilt, suffering, and silence. And we also have shattered, deep sadness, heartbreak. So there is pain here, and I feel like it's coming from your person, but I almost feel like that's their karma, because I feel like whatever they did to you caused you heartbreak and pain and sadness. And, you know, I don't know what it is here that you needed to or need to heal from this connection, but clearly there was something that you needed to heal from. Let's get another one. We have ghosted, silent treatment, feeling left out, lack of closure. Oh my gosh. Spirit, what are you doing? What are you doing? We have guided lessons, learning stages, shadow work. There's still hope. So that's really interesting to me. So this person could have ghosted you, or maybe you ghosted them once they burned that bridge. Maybe you stopped engaging in this cycle and you went silent on them, or the universe kind of intervened and this person from a wounded ego, shadowy place burned a bridge with you and went completely silent on you. Especially if this person owed you some sort of apology. I don't know why I'm hearing this, because I don't normally hear stuff like this, but I'm hearing like nothing screams guilty conscience as much as ghosting, right? Like someone who knows they're in the wrong. So clearly there's a lack of closure here, like you never got any type of closure. It also says silent treatment. So remember in that 10 of Swords, I was seeing the 7 swords. That can be ghosting. That can be the silent treatment. The silent treatment can be painful, you know? And this one, I was just talking about learning lessons, releasing patterns, how there was that blood moon yesterday. So it feels like right now you are healing from whatever pain this person's shadows kind of you received. Also doing your own shadow work, learning about Mr. Crow's outside. You could be learning about patterns and how if there is a pattern that keeps playing out, the only way to stop it is to change your behavior and stop engaging in it. It also says there's still hope. So that's interesting coming through. There's still hope here. We also have tiptoeing, moving in silence, on thin ice, approaching carefully. So you could have been like, especially if you're dealing with someone who's easily triggered or very reactive, you could have felt like you were walking on eggshells. You could have felt like I was hearing that appease word. So you could have felt like you had to be very careful about what you said. Maybe you felt careful about pushing commitment or being exclusive because you had a fear of abandonment here. You could also be learning some sort of lesson about your own childhood here. Like maybe as a child you had a parent who used the silent treatment, you know, or you had a parent who had a very fragile ego, was easily angered. So this is some sort of guided lesson for the both of you. I might as well just get one more row of cards now. And whoever this is, I feel like they know they need to approach you carefully because of whatever that is with the bridge that I was seeing. Yeah, look, we have glow up, self-love, a new you, a big positive change. So as you heal and recover from this, this is so interesting. As you heal and recover from this and give that love to yourself, that Queen of Cups, your energy, you get lifted out of that negative energy, you go through a glow up. And that could be why this person is approaching you very carefully, because you have glown up, you've changed, you've made positive changes. It also says this one, like highly magnetic energy here. That could be their karma, you know, like, you know, when you see those videos, actually, I'm hearing the song, when you see my face, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. When you walk my way, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. I'm not saying that, like, maybe you like that song, or maybe you do have that, you know the videos where it's someone like, revenge? No, I don't need to get revenge. My revenge is becoming the highest version of myself, or not even in love, but like, you see videos where people are like, you didn't believe in me? My revenge is proving you wrong. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So maybe instead of trying to engage with this cycle or chasing this person, or I feel like you've been healing and now, I don't want to say you're revenge, because I don't think you're a revengeful person, but you know the best thing you can do is be the best version of you. And maybe this kind of catapulted you into your glow up when that bridge was burned. There's also, like, I'm hearing that you could have, with this pattern card, you could have been repeating cycles with this person where they kept burning you and you just kept sticking your hand in the fire. And eventually you learn a lesson that if I do this, I'm going to get hurt. And you kind of rise like the phoenix. So let's see what else comes out. So, yeah, we do have underneath Wheel of Karma. We do have deception and lies, not real, fake, illusions. So it definitely feels like this person, their bubble has popped. Whatever illusions or disillusions they had about this, that bubble has been popped. If this person was deceitful or lied to you or wasn't showing up as their true authentic self, it feels like they're getting their karma right now. We also have this. We have insincere apology. So they could be getting their karma for, you know, not taking accountability. Let's keep going. All right. So underneath this ego card, again, we have the player card connected to it, which it was before. And we have cracking open, breaking point, close to giving in under pressure. So it definitely feels like, you know, this hit a breaking point where this person's ego was so triggered that I'm hearing their mask fell, or they burned that bridge. This person feeling very under pressure right now. It could be that whatever karma they're going through, like they could be connected to someone like a friend, family member, coworker, even a third party love interest. I feel like you would know about that. I feel like this karmic lesson, they're dealing with a situation where someone saw through their mask. They saw through the deception and possibly like called them out on it right away. And this is not me telling you that you should have called them out right away, or you should have seen through them, or I'm not here to shame you. I feel like probably you felt a soul contract with this person and had unconditional love for them. And I feel like a karmic has been sent in. Again, it doesn't have to be love related, where somebody saw through this person instantly. And this person has hit a breaking point with their ego. That 10 of Swords could be about them, the fact that they're hitting rock bottom right now. All right. So let's keep going. What is round and round? Stuck in a pattern. So we do have this Justice card. So karmic justice. The scales rebalancing, and that's kind of what I was saying with, it says contracts as well. So there could have been some sort of lesson that you were meant to learn, or they were meant to learn, but it just kept going round and round and round and round. And that's kind of why I said eventually someone has to exit the pattern or the cycle, or I almost got divine protection with this. So that things can balance out. There could have been legal matters, court contracts, divorce, child support involved in it as well. And we have wave of emotions, worry, fear, love, hate dynamic, emotionally unstable. So you could have been dealing with someone who, you know, this cycle or pattern that you were stuck in with them could have brought a lot of emotional dysregulation, emotional burnout. You could have been dealing with someone who was very emotionally unstable, and that could have, or emotionally immature, and you could have been like stuck on that ride. I'm seeing like a kid on a roller coaster who's like screaming, "Stop the ride, I want off, I don't like this." So you could have been stuck in this pattern where you were kind of losing yourself, and you were always crying, always feeling like the ups and downs of these patterns or cycles. You could also be feeling, you know, a wave of emotions that you spent so much time giving to this person or stuck in this pattern. 2 more cards, please, Spirit. We have, well, it didn't want to stay out, but I saw the plane card. And the plane talks about, this is very interesting. The plane does talk about ascension, and it talks about taking a break. Maybe you live at a distance from this person. I actually don't want to put that there yet. So we have replaying events, overthinking, tension, worry in their feelings. So you've definitely got, like, listen, this is karmic justice. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the past, when you were with this person, you felt like you were walking on eggshells, you felt unsure about the future, you didn't feel stability, you didn't feel commitment, you didn't feel grounded, you felt emotional, you felt worried, you felt stressed out. I feel like that's everything this person is going through right now, karmic justice. Mr. Crow keeps confirming this message. And whoever this is, they've had an epiphany, and it seems to be in their heart space. Epiphany, revelation, enlightenment. So they're having, there's more cards. I said 2 cards, and then spirit blah, blah, blah. Spirit spit 5 out. So this person is really overthinking this right now, especially if you are going through a glow up and you're focused on your career and you've taken your attention completely off of them. I feel like someone with a fragile ego would feel that. Because people with fragile egos kind of like to have their egos fed or validated. We have heart rules, guided by emotions. Love wins in the end. You rule their heart. So they are having an epiphany in the heart space, just like I said before I even flipped out this card. And it could have been in the past that their mind was in control. That's could have been why they ghosted you, gave you the silent treatment. But right now they're being guided by their emotions. You rule their heart. So they are missing you here. And again, having an epiphany, they could be looking at photos of you. We have complete fulfillment, perfect match, better together. So this person is having an epiphany. Look at the cards that are linked to the epiphany card. Replaying events, having an epiphany, overthinking in their feelings, you know, seeing the truth of this situation, finally tapping into their heart space. Puzzles could be symbolic, but this person having an epiphany that you are their fulfillment, you know, that you did bring them a lot of happiness. The puzzle pieces are falling into place for them, is what I'm hearing. It's starting to make sense to them. And maybe in a way it's made sense for you for a while. I'm also hearing a blue jay outside right now. And a blue jay can be, you know, if you know what blue jays are like, they can be very aggressive. So this person could have been coming from, you know, a wounded place, a place of shadow, presenting very aggressive. So better together. This person is realizing you're better together than apart. We also have loneliness, secluded, cut off, soul searching. And again, karma. Did you feel lonely within this soul contract situationship connection? Did you feel like they cut you off and you had a lack of closure? Did it cause you to do some soul searching? That's karmic justice, because that's everything they're going through right now. And on the bottom, we have the high priestess, inner knowing. Listen to your intuition. So you could be in high priestess energy right now. They could be in high priestess energy right now. Silent, guarded. But this is very intuitive energy. So I feel like this person is waking up to their intuition. So let's get some tarot cards. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Interesting. So there definitely could have been miscommunications here. I actually just want to look at that for a minute. Where's my book? That's weird. That is very, oh, I see it. It's all the way across on the other table. I need to look up that Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords in reverse. Confusion, miscommunication, hostility, arguments, destruction, brutality, the destruction of the bridge. Failure to communicate, clashing perspectives, painful words, unable to express thoughts clearly. Interesting. That's kind of falling in line with what we were getting here. All right, and look at that. We have the Empress, beautiful. So you could be very focused on yourself right now, healing yourself, tending to your inner garden, knowing your worth, you know, no longer chasing this person. Come on, dogs, cut it out. There's school's back in, so kids are coming home and my dogs are barking. We've got the Five of Pentacles in reverse, positive changes. That's good, because we had that glow up card, making positive changes. So I do feel like you are making positive changes. I hope this person is. I'll be able to tell once we do some digging. I keep hearing that blue jay out there. All right, we've got the Eight of Pentacles. So Eight of Pentacles, you could be very focused on your career right now, self-mastery. It is an energy of working on yourself, you know. Eight of Pentacles is also about commitment. So this person could have had a fear of commitment, or maybe you were The silhouettes, look at these silhouettes. Maybe you were very committed to this person, but they were not. Because we see these two people kind of behind this person's back. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Christmas could be symbolic. So interesting. The 7 and 8 of Pentacles. So there is a period of waiting. All right. I feel like, you invested in this connection. So where do I want to start here? Let's get a card for you. All right. So, well then. So we've got, very interesting, we've got the Tower crossing, and we've got Judgment, rebirth. So an awakening, a lot of self-evaluation. And look, these spirals, I noticed these spirals on the Empress's neck. And these spirals, they symbolize cycles and patterns. So I feel like right now you are doing a lot of self-evaluation of cycles and patterns within this connection. Maybe patterns that have played out in other connections in your life. Even stemming from your childhood, I was hearing. So an awakening energy, lots of self-evaluation. And then we have the Tower crossing. And remember I said I was seeing the Tower intuitively. And so for some of you, again, there's no shame if you had to be thrown out of that tower. I am somebody that needs to be thrown out of the tower every once in a while because I'm stubborn. I'm a Taurus. I'll hold that tower together as long as I can, even though the universe is sending me warning signs. And sometimes the universe has to, I just heard yeet, yeet me out of that tower. But this is about, remember I talked about delaying the inevitable. So you could be reflecting or doing self-evaluation right now that maybe you were delaying the inevitable. You were too patient, or you did overlook things. You should have walked away sooner. The Tower also talks about making adjustments in love. So you could be evaluating on adjustments you want to make in love. Like maybe you are making adjustments about what you feel you deserve. And you could be saying things like, I no longer want a connection where I need to walk on eggshells. I want healthy love, I don't want a connection where I'm going round and round in circles. Look at this spiral. Because the Queen of Swords can talk about knowing your worth and putting up boundaries. So for some of you, maybe you ended this connection and put up boundaries and cut them off. Maybe you spoke your truth to them and they fled the tower and burned a bridge on their way out. But it looks like you were standing strong in your truth here. All right. Revelations. You could be having revelations about this connection. Sometimes with these types of connections, when you're stuck in a pattern, you can't see things clearly because you're in, remember all those I was talking about, like maybe you were really emotional and confused. You can't see straight. You can't think straight. But then once the dust settles from the tower, you have all of these, like once the tower falls, you have all these revelations like, oh my gosh, I was putting up with some BS. I was, sacrificing myself. We also have Temperance here underneath Queen of Swords. So you're trying to be patient, restoring balance, healing, re-examining the priorities you've chosen, perhaps. That's what I mean, like revelations. You're having revelations on what you prioritized here. So we have air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have Sagittarius, and we have Aries. So let's see. This to me looks like divine intervention as well, because we see these lightning is striking that hive. And these two bees, wasps, whatever they were, are being thrown out of that hive by the universe. All right, so let's see. Let's see their energy. Okay. I don't know what's on the floor. It's in reverse. I'll grab it in a minute. So we do have the Chariot, which is interesting because I saw a card at one point saying that there is forward movement here. So your person, Chariot energy, Cancer energy, there is some sort of forward movement, them moving into alignment. And that's the point of the Tower. When you're going down the wrong path, or you're going down like an ego path or the path of shadows, or you're, hurting people, just like if you're in a situation where you're being hurt, but you have a fear of being alone, so you stay. Divine intervention is chaotic, it's messy, and it's meant to realign you on the right path. We also have soul searching here. So I feel like your person is doing some soul searching, but whatever this divine intervention is, the karma, it is putting them on the right path. It's moving them into alignment. It's like the universe was saying, you're way out of bounds, buddy. You're going the wrong way. So what are you on the floor in reverse? We've got the Prince of Swords, which I believe is the Knight of Swords. Let me just make sure that's right. Yeah, it's the Knight of Swords. Thank you, Crow, for confirming it. So very interesting that we have the Knight of Swords in reverse here. You could both be air signs. This person could be younger than you. But this is kind of falling in line to everything we spoke about. The Knight of Swords does have a fear of intimacy. The Knight of Swords can be very impulsive and hurtful with their words. Bordering on emotionally abusive. The Knight of Swords in reverse talks about hostility, arguments, easily angered, reactions, specifically with communication or words. So I feel like that's what this person is having, like, again, karma. There could be someone in their life who either they treated that way and that person was like, wait a minute, who do you think you are treating me that way? You're fired, or we're not friends anymore, or whatever the karmic lesson is that your person is going through. Or whoever they were connected to as that karmic lesson could have been treating them exactly the way you were treating them. So they could have come face to face with someone who reacted from a triggered place or a hurtful place or was very hostile, argumentative with them. I'm going to get one more for them. We've got the Lovers on the bottom and Strength. So it's like this person is, is feeling, that is so interesting. One thing I want to say about the Lovers, the shadow of the Lovers, which I'm thinking of because we've got a reversal here, is about someone who knows they need to take accountability. And that's kind of what I feel with your person. They know they need to apologize. They know they need to take accountability. They know they need to make a choice here to do some soul searching. I'm just going to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. My photographic memory is telling me I'm right. Avoiding responsibility for their actions. So this person knows they need to make better decisions in the future. The Knight of Swords, I believe, also has a different meaning. Hang on. So right now it's like the universe is trying to slow them down to put them in alignment, because the Knight of Swords in reverse can talk about someone who's been scattering their energy in too many places. So maybe, you know, they weren't prioritizing this connection, or even prioritizing shadow work or soul searching. And it's like the universe purposely slows them down, puts obstacles in their way. Elephants could be symbolic, to move them into alignment. And the Knight of Swords talks about needing to take time to connect to their intuition and their inner voice, which is what all the end of like the last 5 cards were all about that. So it's almost like the universe has like put an obstacle in their path to slow them down so that they can reconnect with their inner voice and learn a lesson here. I don't need another one. Let's see how you feel about them. Gemini energy, how do you feel about them? Oh, we have the Four of Wands. Oh, and we have the Hierophant. Tell me without telling me that you feel like you have a soul contract with this person. Like, what the heck? Four of Wands, the 1111 card. This is the Hierophant, the Delphic. I don't know how to say that. The Delphic bee is the Hierophant. So clearly you do feel like you have a soul contract with this person. You feel like there could be commitment there, or you saw a future with them. Maybe you were married to them. I don't know. It looks like, you know, you would like to reunite with this person, but it feels like right now you're more focused on healing and, you know, standing strong in your worth and your boundaries. I don't feel like if this person came back in the exact same energy, in that low vibrational energy, that you would just be like, yeah, let's get married. It almost feels to me like on this card, you see 2 children. So you could have children together. But it also could be that, you know, if they were to heal their wounding, that you could see commitment with them. You could see building a home with them. And I feel like, you know, you feel like this person has taught you lessons. We have a lot of air energy coming out. We have Taurus with the Hierophant, but now we have the Princess of Swords. So it feels like if you were to commit to them, you would need more information. Like you would need to know that they've been healing, that they've changed, that they've learned their lesson. You would need that accountability. The Page of Swords also talks about learning. And I always talk about with the Hierophant, like spiritual lessons. So I do feel like you have learned some important lessons about this, about yourself from this connection, and what you will and won't tolerate or excuse. Do you know what I mean? Now the Princess of Swords does, or the Page of Swords does talk about kind of the energy that we've been seeing, which is someone that can be slightly deceptive or cunning or sneaky with their words. Maybe they use a lot of words. Maybe they're highly intelligent. Interesting that that's there. 3 of Wands. So yeah, it feels like if you were to have commitment with them, they would have to come in showing growth and progress. My goodness. I'm going to keep that on the bottom. Let's see how they're feeling about you. How are they feeling about you? We have Death. So you could feel like, you know, this could be, you could feel like counterparts. So we have Death here, which is Scorpio energy. So this person feels like there's been an ending, and they do feel like if they're going to work things out with you, 3 of Pentacles, that they would need either, well, they need both, that they would need to transform, and possibly even like, like a couples counseling I'm hearing. The 3 of Pentacles is kind of giving me this energy right here. Like this person wants to better together. So the Three of Pentacles is like, let's work it out. Death with the Three of Pentacles does show that this person wants to get on the same page and have a rebirth with you. But I feel like this person sees that you've transformed. Let's get another one. You know, the shadow, the shadow attributes of the Death card are also about repeating negative emotional patterns. So there could have been a cycle where this person was repeating negative emotional patterns. We have the Moon, and look at this image of the feminine walking away. So it feels like right now this person feels like you're separated. There's obstacles here. There's a fear and an uncertainty about the future here. And there's definitely the energy of needing to do shadow work if they're going to have a rebirth with you. I don't know if this person knows what shadow work is. But there's an uncertainty if your paths will cross again, or if, you know, it's almost like this person feels you're done with them or that you've walked away here. This is Pisces energy, Cancer energy, divine feminine energy. And we have the Three of Jars. So there's threes keep coming out now. So the Three of Jars is about reuniting, or it's about like a reunion energy. It's almost like this person has a fear that you are moving on. You know, they could see you spending time with friends. They could see you glowing up, feeling very fulfilled, and they could have a fear that there's someone else in your energy. And on the bottom, we have the King of Wands. So this person clearly has a lot of passion for you. They feel like they need to take action towards you or make a bold move towards you. I also feel like this person could be realizing that they prioritized like friends or drinking or partying over you. Fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I just want to get, Spirit, can you give me one card about the past? Just one or two. Show me the past. Show me the past. We have the Eight of Pentacles, and it's that image again with the two people, and the Seven of Jars. Okay, so in the past, it does feel like there was some sort of like illusion here or confusion. And what's interesting is I've never seen an Eight of Pentacles card like this, where there's two people in the background in the shadows. So for some of you, you could have been investing in this connection. You could have been taking care of things or holding this connection together while they were, you know, entertaining others or making you feel like an option. And that entertaining others doesn't just have to be love. It could have been, you know, they weren't prioritizing you while you were prioritizing them and you were committed to this. They could have been prioritizing work. They could have been prioritizing partying, their friends, their hobbies, their this, their that. I'm also heavily getting like avoidance of commitment. All right, let's look at this person's intentions. So we have the Hanged One. That's interesting. So for their intentions, we have the Devil, we have the Two of Wands, and we have the Princess of Jars, which is such interesting energy. And then the Hanged One. And now I'm hearing a cricket. Look up what a cricket means spiritually. Please. So for intentions, this is really interesting because we've been talking about patterns. And this person's intentions are to show you a new perspective. But before they can show you that new perspective, they need to release these toxic traits, or they need to release these things that are low vibrational energy. They need to release their ego. And this image is so interesting because we have the Two of Wands, which can symbolize needing to make a choice. You can see here that this person has already made a choice. They've already got their wand. They know where they want to go. But the Two of Wands can talk about looking at the patterns, because oftentimes you see a globe on the Two of Wands, and it can symbolize us looking at our patterns and cycles that keep us stuck and prevent us from moving forward. And the fact that we've got the Hanged One on the bottom, this person does want to, their intentions are to wait before coming towards you. So if you haven't heard from this person, that's why there's delays here. Because they're waiting until they change some of these patterns, or until they release some of this ego or shadows that they have here. Pisces energy, Capricorn energy. The Page of Cups is showing their intentions are, when they come towards you, it's almost like they want to leave that toxic version of them behind. This is tied. This other wand is tied to something, and they have their hand on this wand. So they're leaving something behind here. Whether that's another connection, whether that's the lower vibrational version of them, their intentions are to show you a new perspective and leave that old, whatever perspective of you have of them from the past. They want to leave it in the past, and they want to make a decision about the future here. But they have two cards about wanting to show you a new perspective. And maybe you have a new perspective of this person now that the dust has settled and you can think clearly and you know your worth. Maybe your perspective has changed of this person. So energetically, they know that if they come in, they need to show you a different perspective of them, because you're no longer accepting that past version. The Page of Cups also talks about working on their inner child. Five of Wands underneath the Hanged Man, resolution, conflict, building a bridge, right? Resolution. So let's see what action they're taking towards you in the future actions. On the floor you go. So we have, that's interesting, the World. We have the Seven of Pentacles, and we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant shows higher level of commitment. The World shows new chapters, the end of the pattern and the cycle. So the end of a chapter, the beginning of a new one. Completion, fulfillment. Remember the cards that came out, they know that you complete them. There could be a completion of a marriage. Let's say you're dealing with someone who's in a marriage, because we had that Eight of Pentacles with the two people inside. You could be connected to someone who's married. Two of Jars shows, and I love this Two of Cups, it does show unity, partnership, reunion. It shows engaging in an honest and heartfelt conversation to clear up miscommunications. And this is giving me Empress energy. Like, she is standing there with her back turned, knowing her worth, holding out a piece of cake, attracting in, and this person is leaning behind this, kind of apprehensive about approaching that Empress. So I feel like this person could come in a little, I'm hearing coy, or a little shy or apprehensive. Seven of Pentacles. So Christmas could be symbolic for you. King of Wands, bold action. Never mind. I was hearing King of Swords, truth and clarity. So they are coming towards you with truth and clarity, taking bold action. Seven of Pentacles, they could be waiting for the right time to come in. And I'm just really called to this Christmas scene, so maybe something is symbolic about Christmas to this connection. We also see, the Seven of Pentacles can be about seeing the fruits of your labor. So I feel like this person is coming in with some sort of offer. This person is giving this person something. So I feel like there's an offer coming in, especially with the Two of Cups. The King of Wands, this person taking control of this situation. So I want to see your advice about this person. What do you need to know about this person? What do you need to know about this person? Interesting. Okay, so we're getting a lot of King energy here. The only one I haven't seen is King of Pentacles. So this person, highest form of love there is for you. I feel like as you work on your Queen of Cups energy, they're working on their King of Cups energy. This is someone who's, learning. This is so important because this is someone who's learning to keep their cool when faced with conflict and not react from an ego-centered place or a triggered place. This is someone who's working on their healing, releasing things that no longer serve them. What's interesting is that we have the Ten of Swords here for what you need to know about this person. So they have hit rock bottom. They've definitely hit rock bottom. And I feel like there's still love here with the King of Cups. I want to see what you should focus on. What can you focus on? Yourself. What should you focus on? Yeah, love it. We have the Empress. I love it. That's why I was like, yourself. I actually thought the Queen of Wands was going to come out, but the Empress is even better. So you need to focus on not chasing. You need to focus on attracting in what is for your highest good. So releasing control of the outcome, or releasing the idea of a fixed outcome, and trusting that what is meant for you will come in. Really, focus on your self-love, focus on nurturing yourself. Anything that you wanted from this person, be that for yourself. Like if you wanted consistency, be that for yourself. If you wanted love, give that love to yourself. We also have the Seven of Pentacles on the bottom. So there's an energy of, the Seven of Pentacles, there is this energy of this hasn't manifested yet, but that you will see the fruits of your labor. So like, I just heard worst case scenario, you invest in yourself. And how can I say that? I'm seeing kind of three different things. Like it's almost like I'm seeing three doors. You invest in yourself and you see the fruits of those labors. Like when you do invest in yourself emotionally, physically, mentally, your shadows, you do see the fruits of your labor because you start loving yourself more. You start being happier. You start being more content in your own energy. You start knowing your worth. Second door, you attract this person back in a transformed, like higher vibrational version of themselves and can reconnect. Option 3, if this person is unwilling to rise to your vibration, the universe will send you someone who can meet you at your vibration, like a soulmate. So the best thing you can do right now is tend to your garden, my friend, and be in feminine energy. I do not chase, I attract, and attract in what is meant for you. And know that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Trust your intuition. Keep the vibration of divine feminine. Focus on your creativity. Spend some time in nature. Maybe freshen up. This says freshen up your office. even your home. So I love that. All right, I'm just going to get a few channeled messages from this person. Interesting. I just saw this. I know I hurt you and wish I could go back in time and do things differently. I'm planning on making you a priority and showing how significant you are to me. So, make yourself the priority. If you want this person to prioritize you, you need to tell the universe, I believe I am worth being prioritized, and show the universe that by prioritizing yourself. One more. All right, let's just get a couple messages from this person. Love is a lesson that is worth learning for you. They're learning lessons, all right. That's very interesting that that came out, because we kept talking about lessons. All right. What does this person want to say to you? I know I hurt you and That's magic. I know I hurt you and wish I could go back in time to do things differently. I plan on making you a priority and showing you how significant you are to me. I am tired of running from this connection. And again, they're not running from this connection. They're running from their own reflection. They're running from themselves. They're running from who they need to elevate into and what they need to heal in order to meet you where you are. I miss you so much and need you by my side. For us to be together, it would require me to leave everything I've worked for behind, and I am not ready to lose what I've built. So for some of you, that could be, this image that they've built of themselves where they look confident with that ego card. It could also be for some of you that you are connected to someone who was already in a connection. No judgment for me. Or maybe they'd have to move. I am struggling financially and know you deserve better than what I can offer. When you least expect it, I will come back to you. Everyone will witness our love in the 3D. And then we have, no one has ever made me want to change my behavior until I met you. And this card comes out a lot, and that's what I say about these soul contracts, right? Is that sometimes we can behave in a way over and over again in connections and friendships, and when we hit a tower moment or a bump in the road, we just stop talking to that person and we move forward, But these soul contracts, they inspire us to change and heal. All right, so my friends, I'm going to leave it here. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.